Hey yo, what's up, y'all, and welcome to the 66th edition of the Take One podcast. I am August C. Jones, and so we have a few things that we're going to cover here on this episode today. One being the new trailer to Venom. The other one is talking about the box office, and then I'm talking about what dominated March 2018. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the new Venom trailer dropped, and it was only yesterday I was talking to my brother about it because CinemaCon had released the first trailer for it. I mean, we got the teaser trailer, but I mean the first official trailer. They released it at CinemaCon, and I didn't know that. I mean, okay, put it like this: I didn't know that they were gonna release it today. I woke up this morning and saw the trailer. I'm like, oh well, let me go ahead and check it out. So I ended up was talking to my brother yesterday, and I was talking about it and the scene that somebody had recorded of the symbiote coming over Eddie Brock's face, which is played by Tom Hardy, and basically just how Venom looked, because there is a significant amount of Venom in this trailer. We still don't know too much about it, who's the villain and all that. I mean, the villain more than likely is the corporation that wants the symbiote or whatever, but I believe that they said Carnage is going to be up in here. I'm not entirely sure, but so I ended up telling them about that. And I woke up this morning to see the new trailer. I knew it was going to drop before because I heard that it was going to show before Avengers Infinity War, this trailer. So I'm like, this isn't, the 90s where you see the trailer for the first time during, before a movie, that's about to come out or whatnot. It's like you will see it before a movie that's about to come out, but you will see it the week of. So you'll see it days prior to that movie coming out. So you're going to, the way to go is YouTube nowadays. So without, saying all the extra stuff, YouTube they had dropped the trailer on YouTube this morning, and yeah, this trailer looked pretty awesome. I was just kind of taken back. Like, I don't know, I had to watch it a second time and kind of get another look at it, I guess you could say. Just kind of like take it in, because I was just thrown off by Tom Hardy's performance in the trailer, because it kind of, I don't know, like, I will have to see his performance more in like other trailers, or rather, in the actual movie. But I mean, the trailer overall looked good. It didn't blow me away, but I liked it. It was really good. Just the way the symbiote look of Venom, he looks incredible. He looks actually different from the one that we saw up in Spider-Man 3. He has more he has more teeth in his mouth, and he looks more defined now. Of course, as technology has improved throughout the years ever since that movie, it looks incredible. Like, just how he looks. I don't know. Like, I'm willing to give this movie a chance. It was part of like movies that I was like really anticipating this year. I was giving it a chance, even without a trailer. Even without a trailer, I was really expecting. Well, I was really like uh, anticipating. I couldn't find a word. I was really anticipating seeing this movie, and this furthers my curiosity. I really enjoyed it. Tom Hardy, he more than likely is going to knock it out the park. I don't know as far as a movie. Hopefully we get to see a lot of Venom. Hopefully they don't Iron Man us, meaning that if you've seen the Iron Man movies, you know that the first film, I'll give it a pass. But the second and third film, you go a long while without seeing Iron Man. As far as being Iron Man. The second one, he's in the suit a little bit more often, but it's just, it's not as like he's fighting villains or this and that. Especially the third one. I hope they don't do it like that, where he's like Venom toward the beginning, and then they have like a whole 45 to an hour long gap in between the times that he's Venom. So, and when I say Venom, I mean like covered in completely in the symbiote, to where he's actually completely Venom, So I just hope that they don't do that. But in any case, I did enjoy the trailer, and I thought it was pretty damn good. As if you compare it to the last trailer that we got, where it didn't have any Venom up in there besides the part where he's screaming on the table, and then you see some of the black goo going through like his neck, but it cuts away so quick to where it's like if you blink you'll miss it. But yeah, I mean, I like the trailer. I like the trailer. I just want to see what this movie has to offer when it comes out. And so that gets rid of trailer reviews. Next, I'm going to get into what dominated March. I'm not going to get too much into these movies as far as like whether I like them or not. I talked about it on a later podcast that I did. Well, earlier podcast, not later podcast. An earlier podcast that I did. It was a episode blah 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 blah. Episode 63. If you guys want to go check that out, I was talking in short about it ain't really about in short, but I was just talking about the first quarter of films, which is January, February, and March. And so I was doing this thing. If you're new to this, I've been doing this thing relatively recently. Well, actually recently, I'll just say it, where I talk about the movies that's coming out the next month. That's in the coming month, and I just put what movies dominated, what I think will dominate, matter of fact. And then after that month is gone, I talk about what movies did dominate. And I'm kind of late to the party, but I just started. I did a podcast on what dominated January this year, and then I just did a podcast of what dominated February. So you can go check that out. The last episode 65 was the one where I talked about what dominated February, and episode 64 was when I talked about what dominated January. So go ahead and check those out. But without further ado, let me go ahead and get into what dominated March. So looking at the thing, there's a lot of movies that came out in March. Actually, there's a lot of movies that I saw in March, but a lot of them actually did pretty well. So we have Death Wish at number one. Well, not number one. I haven't even put down the top 5 highest grossers of March. And these are today. I just did these. I did these numbers a couple days ago, so they might have slightly changed, but I don't think it did significantly. So the first one is Death Wish, which it has a world total of 33 million. It didn't hit the world. I just put it at that, but just domestically it's 33 million. So it's just the world. And then we have Red Sparrow. Hold on. I lost my place. Okay. So Red Sparrow domestically took in 46 million, and its world total was at 144 million. And then we got Gringo that took in domestically 4 million, and its world total is 8 million. Then we have Hurricane Heist, world million, 6 mil. I mean, world total was 6 million. It didn't hit the world. It was just domestically, so I just counted it as the world. Then we got Strangers, which didn't hit domestically. I mean, which didn't hit internationally either, which took in 24 million. And then we have A Wrinkle in Time. Domestically did 93 million. The world is 122 million. 7 Days in Italy. I don't know. I've heard of this movie. I wanted to see it. I never got a chance to go out and see it, but I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce it. 7 Days in Intebay. I don't know. But his domestic total was 3 million, and his world total brings it to 5 million. I can only imagine had his domestic total go all the way up to 79 million. I was very curious about this movie. I may end up checking it out when it comes out on DVD. But I'm really curious to see what made people like this movie, Love, Simon. I love that movie. Domestically was 4 million, and its world total was 53 million. Tomb Raider had its domestic at 56 million, and its world total at 269 million. Then we have Midnight Sun. I was almost about to say that. Oh my gosh, I can't even find the words. Anyway, so his domestic total is at 9 million and his world is at 19 million. Then we have Pacific Rim. His domestic total is at 58 million and his world total is at 282 million. Paul, Apostle of Christ, took in 16 million and his world is at 18 million at that. Sherlock Gnomes, 39 million domestically and 57 million worldwide. Unsane, 7 million domestically, 11 million worldwide. Isle of Dogs, 24 million domestically, 39 million worldwide. God's Not Dead, Obviously, because they keep making movies about him not being dead. And with me being a Christian, I know if somebody hearing this being a Christian, they probably might, say like that's not a good joke. But yeah, God's Not Dead, A Light in the Darkness, domestically took in 5 million, then hit internationally. Tyler Perry's Acrimony. I remember if you've been listening to my podcast, I always used to mess up the name. I got it. So that taking domestically 41 million, and this world total is at 42 million. Then Ready Player One, the last one on the list, is right now was at 126 million domestically, and it took in 521 million worldwide. So that's the whole list right there. And basically, just to quick sum it up, the ones that really stood out to me was, now let me go ahead and check this out. So I thought Strangers may do a little bit more because a lot of people love these stupid horror films, especially the way that was. I went to go see it with a friend of mine, and she loved the film. I hated it. So, it shows me that it's people that still look at these films as actual horror films rather than just bad films. A Wrinkle in Time, I actually thought was going to be a little bit higher, just for the simple fact that it's coming off Black Panther, and because people saw it was a Black Panther, saw it was like saw that it was a all black cast, black director, and it was just basically essentially a black movie at its core with just the themes and everything else about it. I thought coming off of that, a lot of people were going to go see A Wrinkle in Time since that was directed by a black director, and it has the main character being a little black girl. Well, mixed, but she's black. And then you got Oprah Winfrey up in there. So I thought that, that would matter. But ultimately that didn't, because it did good. 122 million is nothing to scuff at, but I thought it would be better. Love, Simon, that should have did better, because that movie was awesome. I went into that movie, thought it was going to be like a Midnight Sun or Everything, which has him up in the movie as well. But I thought it was going to be one of them. But, man, that movie, I'm going to do my review on it. Yeah. But, yeah, so Pacific Rim, I thought it was going to be a little bit more than that. I enjoyed it for what it was. I recognized that it wasn't the original, but it was enjoyable. Really, Ready Player One made the money that it should have made. I think it should have made a little bit more, but as far as domestically, but I mean, it did good. The movie was great. I enjoyed it. So let me go ahead and get off the top 5 highest grosses of March, and then we're going to get into the box office segment. So number 5 is A Wrinkle in Time. Number 4 is Red Sparrow. Number 3 is Tomb Raider. Number 2 is Pacific Rim Uprising. And number 1 is Ready Player One. So it's accurately named Ready Player One at number 1, highest grosser of March of 2018. Which I'm not mad at that, because that movie I really enjoyed. But even just looking at it, let's look at these. The top number 1 movies that made the most money in the past 3 months, January, February, and March. All the movies that I did really enjoy. Maze Runner was the highest gross of January. Black Panther was the highest grosser of February. And then Ready Player One was the highest grosser of March. So I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad. So, and I might go back over this. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do this real quick. The things that stood out to me about the top 5 of highest grossers of January, February, March, I have to keep saying, I'll just say the first quarter. Those are the ones that I'm saying. I said those months too much by now, so y'all know I'll just say the first quarter. So the 3 lists of the top 5 highest grossers of each month in the first quarter. The ones that stood out to me, let's go into January. This is right off. This is just spontaneous. Like, I didn't have this planned. I just thought that popped up. But the ones that stood out to me in January was Paddington. I didn't like. I wasn't paying attention too much to the first one. The second one, like I said before, I just took my son to go see it because, you know, I want to take him to movies and have him experience stuff that I enjoy. And this movie, I was really shocked. I was like, yo, this is a really good ass movie. Like, I found myself really enjoying it. That was like the stand out to me in the top 5 list of January. February, the ones that actually stood out to me was Peter Rabbit, because that one was actually pretty damn good. That was pretty damn good. I enjoyed it, just like I enjoyed Paddington. I found myself laughing at Peter Rabbit, and just, it was pure entertaining. Pure entertainment, and I enjoyed it. The 1517 to Paris, I haven't seen that, but all I've been hearing is negative stuff about it. I guess a lot of people are going to support it because it's based on true events, and then you got the real people that were in the event, the actual event, playing themselves. So you got them up in it. So I guess people were just supporting it, but I'm surprised to see it on the highest grossing list. I thought it would probably be like Early Man or, you know, something like that, or even Winchester, but, you know, it ended up creeping up on the list. So, hey, I mean, get it how you can. And then the other standout to me was Black Panther. I knew that it was going to be one of the highest grossers of February, but I didn't know how much it was going to gross. I think right now it's at 1.3 billion. 1.3 billion, and people are still going to go see it. I have a feeling that it's going to jump up maybe 1 or 2 spaces from where it's at by the time we get to Infinity War. Well, by the end of this week, I believe. Where is it at? Gosh, I think I hit it. Blah blah blah. You know what? It's up in the box office. I have for today, but it's at number 8, and for some reason I believe it's gonna maybe jump to at the most number 6. I feel it. I don't know. I just feel it. And the standout in March to me is Red. Well, I can say Red Sparrow. Red Sparrow is a movie that I didn't think. Just going into it, I realized that it's not a action-packed type movie, but I didn't think that it was gonna do the money that, do the business that it did do. I thought a lot of people were gonna go in there and be feeling like, I didn't like this, and probably a lot of people did have that, but I didn't think that it was gonna be up in the top highest grosses. I really didn't. But I mean, I'm not against it. As far as another standout that's actually not on the list was I Can Only Imagine, because I Can Only Imagine, as much people were like just saying how much it's a good movie, and I've been hearing so much about it, I thought that might be on the top 5 highest grosses, but I mean, it's not. But it did make a good amount of money. I don't even know the budget. I think the budget was really low, and it ended up making that back plus some. So that one was just a surprise. Everything else that's on the top 5 of March really didn't surprise me, especially Ready Player One. Good ass film. So let's go ahead and jump into the box office real quick, and not trying to make this too long. We're making good time. So the top 5 actually surprised the hell out of me. So let me go ahead and look into what my predictions was last time. So first, let me go ahead and get into the predictions that I had last week. So my predictions was that Rampage was going to stay at number 1, A Quiet Place was going to stay at number 2, but I Feel Pretty was going to come in at number 3, Traffic was going to be number 4, and number 5 was going to be Super Troopers 2. Wasn't too far off, though I didn't get it exact, because at number 1 was a surprise, because when I saw this, I'm like, are you kidding me? So A Quiet Place got back into the number 1 spot, which is crazy to me. I mean, the movie is good. The movie is awesome. But to see that it crept back into number 1 after being like knocked to number 2 by Rampage, it's crazy. But it's not in number 1 by much. Because, matter of fact, let me just go ahead and run it down before I get more into this. So, number 1 is A Quiet Place, which took in 22 million over the weekend, and its domestic now is at 132 million, which brings its worldwide total to 207 million. Rampage is took in over 21 million. Well, took in 21 million over the weekend. Its domestic is at 66 million, which brings its worldwide total to 283 million. I Feel Pretty is at 16 million over the weekend. Super Troopers 2, number 4, took in 14 million over the weekend. And then we have Truth or Dare, which over the weekend took in 7 million, and its domestic is at 30 million, which brings its worldwide total to 38 million. And just to get what's off the thing, I thought Traffic was going to be in the top 5, which was sadly disappointing, because Black Panther, like I mentioned like a little bit earlier, Black Panther is at number 8, which over the weekend took in to 4 million and brought its domestic total to 681 million. Now its world total is at 1.3 billion. Yeah, billion. I thought I messed up, but yeah, billion. And then we have, even though I got an M right here, I still said billion. Hooray for me. And then number 9 was Traffic, which over the weekend brought in 3 million. Like, that's, I don't know, that's just crazy. But I wasn't too far off with my predictions. I was just wrong about the number 1 and number 2 spot. And then I Feel Pretty, that came in at number 3, which I said that was going to happen. Super Troopers 2 basically was, instead of number 5, it was number 4. And that's only because Traffic didn't do so well. But yeah, I was surprised. Like, A Quiet Place got back in the number 1 spot. You know, that was, I don't know, that's something that I didn't see, but I heard it. No, I'm just playing. That was a bad pun. But yeah, I'm just surprised at that. I'm just really surprised. But, you know, I mean, good for it. Good for it. Anything else that stands out about the list besides Traffic not being in the top 5, Black Panther being above that? But other than that, I mean, everything kind of like panned out. I mean, Truth or Dare is still in the top 5 because Traffic isn't. So, really nothing to say about that. But let me go ahead and get into what's coming this week, which is only one movie that matters. And it's no disrespect to any other indie smaller films that are coming out in like select theaters, but really, you gotta think more. You know, Infinity War, I'm gonna keep it brief because there's nothing really too much that I haven't said about this movie, or not movie, this event, because that's basically what it is. This is 10 years in the making. 19 movies. 18 movies lead into this, but this is the 19th film in the MCU franchise. That's nuts to see that they had an idea, like Sam Jackson says as Nick Fury. There was an idea to start off with Iron Man and end off with this. And then after this is going to carry on. So we're still in phase 3. I thought that they were going to, like, this was going to be end, or Ant-Man was going to be end of phase 3. But phase 3, to my surprise, is going on all the way until Avengers 4, which is still untitled. More than likely, we're going to find out the title of Avengers 4 at the end of this Avengers. So, however this ends, we're probably going to hear Avengers will be back in Avengers such and such. And then everybody's going to be like, ah! You're going to hear the crowd. You know that's how the crowd going to be. Especially for people that may be familiar with the title or anything like that. I probably might be scratching my head. If it's like Secret Invasion or Secret Wars or the Secret Avengers or Serpent Society. No, I'm just playing about that. But just something of that nature. It's like, you know. But I would be surprised if they go the route that they did in the cartoon. I believe it's just the Avengers cartoon. I don't know if it had like a special name to it, but I know in one of the episodes they was facing Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and so they ended up, spoiler alert for like the episode, or I think it was like 2 episodes, but anyway, but they ended up defeating Thanos, and they ended up taking the glove off of him. I forget how, but they ended up defeating him. But it was Tony Stark's robot butler thing or whatever. So he ends up they end up defeating Thanos, and they ended up finding out that Tony Stark's butler thing, whatever, is actually Ultron, who now holds the Infinity Gauntlet with the Infinity Stones. So that starts a new chapter. I didn't watch the show. I didn't find out what happened after that. But if they go that route, I probably might be sitting there like, man, I know a lot of people probably be kind of like angry because a lot of people wasn't satisfied with Ultron and Age of Ultron like I was. But when it comes down to it, if the Russos are doing it, they may end up making Ultron the way Ultron was supposed to be, or you know how he's supposed to look and stuff, make him more menacing. I wouldn't be against that at all, not one bit. But yeah, so Avengers: Infinity War is coming out this week, and I am so happy that it is, because I definitely am going to go see it Thursday night, and it's just something I've been waiting for the longest. I don't know. Words can't even describe. Words can't even describe how I feel, how excited I feel about this movie. But in any case, let me go ahead and get into the top 5 movies that are going to dominate. Well, not dominate. That are going to win this weekend at the box office. So coming in at number 1, you already know without question, Avengers: Infinity War is already basically sold more tickets than Black Panther in its pre-sales. So yeah. Then we got at number 2, A Quiet Place. It's still gonna stay at number 2. I don't see Rampage overtaking it. And like I said, there's no other new movies coming out besides little indie films. So I don't think it's gonna matter too much. Rampage is gonna be at number 3. I Feel Pretty is gonna be at number 4, and Super Troopers is going to be at number 5. So that is my list, and I guarantee you by next week that list is going to pan out, because that's how it's going to be. So that has been episode 66 of the Take One podcast. I would like to thank you guys for joining me and everything else for this. And that's really all I got to say. So I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. So hey, before you guys leave this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like, because it will really help me out. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And you see that little bell? That's a notification. Turn that on, that way you'll be notified for anything that drops on my channel. And if you look down in the description below, you will see all the links to my social media, so go ahead and follow me on those if you haven't already. As well as there are links to my other content that's on the channel, from movie reviews to podcasts to so much more. And I hope to see you guys here again next time. So thanks and peace out.